Today we'll talk about online advertising and get a little bit of a roadmap of what's going to happen today. We're going to talk about, well, first we're going to introduce online advertising a little with talking about different ad types that you can use, where to advertise online, what platforms, the different payment models that you can, the different ways you can pay for your ads online, targeting options, how you can target online. Then we'll talk about platforms. So we'll go into some of them a little bit, specifically Google AdWords and Facebook. We'll see if we have more time for others, but that's probably what we'll cover. And then we will also talk about creating ad copy and creating banner ad creatives. And then at the end, we'll talk a little bit about challenges with online advertising and also where it's going in the future. Okay, so to start off with online advertising, online advertising is a very powerful tool that more than other areas of online marketing activity, it can drive traffic very quickly to your website. Obviously, it's also something that you pay for, perhaps more so than when you are engaged in other areas of internet marketing, but certainly if you want quick results, if you really want traffic coming to your website fast, then going into online advertising and using platforms like Google AdWords or Facebook to drive traffic to your website is the way to go. Another thing that's really beautiful about online advertising is it's sort of because it's online and because there's so much data that it can rely on, it's very powerful in its targeting possibilities. Whereas in the past, with your radio ads or your video, your TV ads, the targeting was never that clear and effective. I mean, obviously you'd have certain time frames where you knew, okay, maybe if I advertise, during the morning hours, at least maybe 60, 70 years ago, 50 years ago, then you would have more of the house parents that would see that, or, so there were some things that you could rely on in terms of targeting, but, a lot of the times you would also waste your money because you're showing it to people that aren't really interested in your product or service. With online advertising, it's sort of evolved advertising. It's made advertising more efficient in that there is so much more data that can help you target more effectively and talk to those people, especially that are interested that would potentially be interested in buying your product or service. So the different types of ads that you can use online, or that you can use to advertise for your product or service. One of them is text ads, and you've probably seen this before in Google, for example. On the search result page, those text ads are listed, but then also as part of Google's what it calls ad network, or as part of its ad network, it will also display these text ads on other websites that are part of that network. And we'll go over how that's done in a little bit. Then there are obviously banner ads also. You've probably seen those before, that are graphics that have text on them that more visually can communicate a message and can more boldly draw attention. And also banner ads, in some cases, while they're oftentimes just flat static graphics, they can also be animated. So specifically, static graphics, you would have a JPEG or a PNG file. Those are different image file formats, but GIFs are also possible for banner ads, and that's essentially a simple animation image format. Then you also have video ads. You've probably seen those on YouTube before, or if you've listened to Pandora and have while you were listening, you were also watching your desktop, or the tab that you were using to open Pandora. You see that sometimes it's interrupted, and you see these video ads that come up in Pandora. And Pandora, for those who don't know, it's sort of a online audio streaming website that suggests certain music to you, and based on different genre criteria that you enter. So yeah, video ads are available online. You can use specifically on YouTube, obviously, but also other platforms. Promoted posts and accounts. When we talk about social media, like we did last week, there are different ways to pay for your content to be shown to more people. And that's usually referred to as promoted posts or promoted accounts. And there are some examples here. Here you have promoted posts on Twitter. That this was what could be a promoted post. Then you have a list of accounts to follow on Twitter, and here you see that one of them is promoted. And then also, again, on Facebook, the same thing can happen. If you create a post with an image, a video, some text, you can promote that. You can pay for that to be shown to more people. Then I mentioned Pandora. There are also audio ads. If you're listening to the streaming online, then sometimes the streaming gets interrupted, especially if you don't pay for the service, and then ads can come up, and that the same thing goes for Spotify. That's another audio streaming site. Okay, something you also may have heard of. It's affiliate content, or affiliate marketing, as some refer to. Big websites and affiliate networks, where Amazon is one of them, where you can sign up and say, I want to be your affiliate. And because I have a lot of traffic coming to my website, for example, I have a tech blog where I write a lot about different, things like Wi-Fi routers. And then, if you have sometimes you write a top 10 best Wi-Fi routers of 2018, for example. And this is actually how I found this. Then you can include the different products. You can essentially give product reviews, and then link to Amazon for people to buy that product. But what you don't see is that this button, the link that is hidden in this button, or the URL that is used when you click this button, tells Amazon that you're an affiliate. And so when the person actually buys this product, Amazon gives you a little money. And also as somebody that wants to, perhaps if you have a course online that you're selling or something, you may sign up to something called clickbank.com. ClickBank is an affiliate network that's connected with a lot of websites and can sort of feed your content to possible affiliates. Where to advertise? There is, some of these terms have flown around a little bit already, but display network, for example, that's one place to advertise. Then an example of a display network is Google AdWords. It's a tool by Google, obviously, and it's essentially a tool that allows you to connect to websites that offer space for ads. So there's essentially, on the one side, there's Google AdWords, which is for those who want to advertise. And then there's what's called Google AdSense, which is for those who have a website and have a lot of traffic and say, okay, I want to earn some money with this traffic. I'll give you this space here on my website where you can display ads. But the display network is essentially that side of Google where you, as a person who wants to advertise, can create ads, specifically display ads, to show up on websites. Like you can see in this example behind the text, You can see an ad for Full Sail University at the top. That's, you can just say, okay, up here, Google, I have this website, I have this space, so you can put in a horizontal banner up here, and then down here on the right side, I have some square space, so you can put an ad here. So this would be the website that signs up, or the owner of this website signs up to AdSense for then Google AdWords to feed ads to. Obviously, another area to advertise in is social media, and we've talked about specifically sponsored or promoted content, like this, this post about male leggings, very good looking, and so, but yeah, in social media, obviously, there's these different things like promoting your accounts and also posts, and also having ads. Video and audio streaming services. I've mentioned Pandora before. This is interesting. I got this TM ad while I was on Pandora earlier, and I had my ad block off for a moment. Good, okay, let's talk a little bit about payment models. So there's different ways to pay online for the ads that you display. One of them is called CPC, or cost per click. Sometimes it's also referred to as PPC, or pay per click. And this is the most common way to pay for your ads online. It's essentially, as the name states, you pay every time somebody clicks on an ad. So, and that's pretty much all there is to that. It's usually the one that's also used if you're new to advertising online. That's the one that people recommend that you start out with, because it's a little easier to monitor and pay attention to. And it also, compared to other payment models, is safeguards you a little bit more against spending a lot of money. So that's a recommended one if you start out with advertising online. Another one is called CPM, or this refers to a cost per 1,000 impressions. So essentially, it counts how many page views that page gets where your ad is shown, for every 1,000 impressions, you pay a certain amount. The 1,000 impressions are a little misleading because you're not really getting 1,000 impressions. It's just page views. So whenever somebody went to that page and the ad was somewhere on that page, that counts as a page view or an impression. So this is something that's usually used for specifically when you have higher budgets and a large ad campaign running. This is a way for you to actually reduce your costs compared to cost per click. But it's something that really needs to be closely monitored, so it's not something that is recommended for people that start out with advertising. And then we've talked a little bit about CPA, cost per action, mostly used in affiliate networks, like I said. And even though this is something that's not usually tied to the payment model that you use on, say, your Facebook ads or your Google ads, it's good to always calculate that yourself, what the actual cost per action was. So, meaning that, you may have gotten, $1 per click to go to your website, but maybe out of 100 people, only 10 people become leads or purchase a product. And so that's essentially, your cost per action is the $100 that you spent on those 10 people. Another one is called cost per CPI, cost per install, and that's specifically for mobile applications. So oftentimes when you have these sort of ads that come up when you use a free mobile app, that the CPI model is used for paying for those ads. So only when somebody installs the app actually is there a transaction. CPV, cost per view, that is used in the context of advertising with video commonly. So if somebody has watched at least 30 seconds of a video, specifically, for example, on YouTube, that can be the payment model there. So you want people to view. If they've seen a certain amount of the video, then you're okay to pay for it. Targeting options. This is where it gets interesting about, on the topic of online advertising. So, in addition to your sort of traditional demographics like age, gender, location, income, language, also what's commonly used online, device use. So did they use an iOS device versus a desktop device? Those kind of things you can target, as well as, now also, which is something that's starting to emerge, is something called geo-targeting. And that's mostly used on mobile, but where because of where you went with your mobile device, you can target, say, people that went into a Walmart or a Whole Foods, or you can target specific locations where, so a specific audience of a certain yoga center, you could target. That's something that's emerging, a field that's emerging as well. Then you have psychographics, and in addition to the sort of political views or purchasing patterns, purchasing behavior, religion. There's also, specifically with Facebook, the option of targeting to interests. So if a person is interested in likes a certain author or a certain public figure or a book or a company, you can advertise to those people specifically. A few others. One is called lookalike audience, and that is something that you can do specifically in Facebook, where if you build a list of leads over a certain period of time, like and leads meaning you have their first name, their last name, at least their email address. Then if you have a longer list, like say 1,000 or 10,000 or more, you can plug that into Facebook, and it can create an audience that looks similar, that has similar interests than those people that are already your leads. That's what we do a lot with M.U.M. and also Marsh Foundation in our advertising, using these lookalike audiences. I've already mentioned retargeting a little bit. Targeting based on interactions with your website. So a person comes to your website, like I mentioned earlier, like Amazon, and looks at a product, and then you can advertise to that person again when they go to other websites and show the ad of a product they looked at. Or the person just went to your website, interacted with it a little bit and didn't really do much, but then left, and then you can just show a general ad also as a retargeting ad. It doesn't have to be specifically for a certain product or something. It could just be generally for your company as well. That is called retargeting. Good. Okay. So let's take a look at Google AdWords. And again, Google AdWords is a tool that provides you access to advertising in Google's display network, which is the network of all kinds of websites that signed up to Google to show Google ads, as well as the Google search network, as well as YouTube. So you can also use that to advertise in YouTube. So yeah, Google AdWords is a platform that that combines both the Google display network, where other websites sign up to Google and that say, okay, I have all this traffic, I have the space, I'd like to display some ads and make money with this traffic. please display your ads on my website. Well, that's different companies that want to want to make money with their traffic and sign up to Google AdSense and connect with Google AdWords. So the Google AdWords combines the display network, which allows for these display ads to display on all these different websites that are part of the network, as well as the search network, which is the Google search engine and the Google Maps and shopping, as well as YouTube, because YouTube is a Google bought YouTube, so it's part of their basket of platforms. So yes, you can use this platform to advertise there. So in Google AdWords, you essentially, the way it's structured is you have campaigns. Within those campaigns, you have ad groups. And then within those ad groups, you have ads. And it's essentially just a hierarchy of an organizational structure. So the way I would possibly advertise or set this up if I were to start a campaign is, with my services, I could say internet marketing is one of my services. So that could be an that could be in campaign. And then within internet marketing, I could offer, web design consulting, conversion consulting, social media consulting. So those would be my ad groups: social media consulting, website conversion consulting, etc. So you sort of, you have your overall term, your umbrella term, and then you go deeper into the specifics with ad groups and then ads. Facebook, the advertising area of Facebook, facebook.com/business. It's a pretty intuitive platform, but I'll also supply some tutorials on the website that can kind of guide you through that process. Another platform for advertising, and this is something that deals with what's called programmatic advertising, where instead of your regular your bidding and the way you're targeting yourself, where sort of AI comes into play, and AI helps you identify target audiences, and so this automation comes more into play in these. This is a new emerging field. In addition to the geo-targeting, it's a programmatic buying that I would definitely look out for if you're interested in online advertising. I mentioned this ClickBank for affiliate marketing. So that's the area for affiliate marketing. One of the big platforms for affiliate marketing. If you want other websites to link to you. Good. So then let's go over creating ad copy and banner creatives. So these are some banner ads. And one thing that's good about all of these, and one thing that to always keep in mind also for advertising, I mentioned this in the context of landing pages, but also advertising, this applies. This is the acronym for how people make decisions. It's AIDA, and it stands for attention, interest, desire, action. And the way that it applies to advertising is that, essentially with an ad, you want to break behavior. So a person is scrolling through a website, is looking at different content, and suddenly something pops out at them. It breaks their behavior. It suddenly, grasps them. And so that's the attention step that, needs to be satisfied. So a way where it wouldn't be satisfied is if you have this website with a lot of content and your ad just doesn't jump out. It doesn't stand out. It doesn't demand attention. So this needs to be met, the attention stage. The interest stage goes more into connecting in terms of the headline, the biggest headline specifically, connecting with a need or some interest of the person that you're advertising to. Communicating relevancy. This is important to me. This means something to me. I should be looking at this more. Having sort of this internal message communicated is what you're trying to do with, or what the goal of this satisfying the interest stage is. So creating this relevancy, creating connection. So obviously here, kidney problems and a dog picture. If you're a dog owner that has, and your dog has kidney problems, that immediately is relevant to you. If you're interested in investing, this may be relevant to you. If your your baby has night terrors, this may be something that that's something you want to look into more because it's something you're dealing with. But obviously, one way to an important thing, going back really quick to the attention step is this standing out. And so knowing the context is important. One example for this is when I advertised for M.U.M on Facebook, I noticed that a lot of ads most of the ads were color. And so I tried using black and white. And that was tremendously effective because I stood out. I was different, And so knowing where you advertise also is very important. So you can stand out in some way, whether it's through silence or through being loud. Okay, then desire. The desire stage is satisfied by, you look at a little bit, once the person has created that connection, that interest, then they look at, there are things that build desire, that build trust, that kind of decrease the blockage or the inhibitions that the person may have to click on the ad, like 30-day money-back guarantee, like safe and doctor recommended, like try natural approach. So especially if you've tried other approaches and you're not willing to, you care about your dog, you may want to. This may interest you further because you don't want your dog to have some kind of harsh treatment. And here the piece that appeals to that desire stage is this description. Then at the end, you have your action stage. And that is obviously your button here. So try it risk-free, learn more, watch now. That's your action stage. It's very important to have certain terminology is really important. It's certainly important that the button stands out, that it's not too subdued, that there are. It's good to have these devices that help you identify that there's something you can do, like an arrow, like it looking like a button and actually looking like a 3D button. The text in this is very important as well. So having action-related words like watch or try or learn, those are very good for these what I call call to actions or CTAs. And then having this be value connected in some way. So the person, watch this to download the free ebook. Those are obviously you're getting something for free. Having free obviously in there is helpful. Try it risk-free. Having terminology that again decreases that inhibition that I don't want to commit. Am I going to be putting all my information here? Am I going to be spammed? What's going to happen? So risk-free, money-back guarantee, those kind of things, really good for CTAs as well. Then talking a little bit about challenges with online advertising. So one thing that we've dealt with certainly, and that's you've probably heard of also. It's referred to as click fraud, and it's the activity online that bots can actually create those clicks. So it's possible that when you advertise online that maybe 20% or 10% of the clicks that you're paying for are actually from bots that are not real people that are going to do business with you. Important for battling that or combating that is again tying your campaign results not just to clicks, but to real purchases or real leads that you get through your website. So having that complete connection from the ad to the real outcome is something that can help you understand how effective something really is, because just basing it on clicks is obviously, with this factor of click fraud being one, it's important to actually make it more concrete and go beyond clicks. Another one is ad blocker. Something I certainly use as an internet marketer. It's also because sometimes you've had those experiences where you go to a website and it just annoys you. You know, these things that follow you around, these things that take your attention, that you have so much to digest through on the website already, and then there's other things that take your attention away. One way that Google is trying to combat this is it's introducing its own. It's not called ad block; it's called an ad filter, where it's trying to create a more pleasant experience, and avoid or keep those situations from happening where on websites where there's too many ads, or ads that are not completely not relevant to you, where it starts to hide those for you. So that's its own kind of way to combat that. But then also, there's this whole effort online of making ads more and more interesting to you, more and more relevant to you. So in that way, to prevent you from being annoyed and bothered by it.